Good morning. It is Wednesday. I was so engrossed in my studies that I totally forgot to come in and do the high five. Um, I'm recording tomorrow on hell, and that's such a huge doctrine. There's so much that needs to be added to that, and so it's interesting, the days that we're living in. Anyway, there was a word that came from Chuck Pierce yesterday about smoke, but I want to prelude to that with a couple of different things. Years ago, we had, my house isn't huge. We had over 40 ladies in our house for a special speaker. Her name was Connie. And the people that remember Connie will remember who I'm talking about. And it was the second morning, because the first day, and then we had the second day, and I was making CDs and making the coffee, and people were helping me get ready for the second day. And all of a sudden, I smelled smoke. And I'm smelling smoke, and I'm looking all over the house. I said, does anybody smell smoke? And nobody could smell smoke, but I was smelling it. It smelled weird, like burning electrical sockets kind of thing, but different than that. And so after a while, I didn't smell it anymore, but it was so strong. Well, at noon, right before we dismissed for lunch, Pastor Judy, my friend Pastor Judy, called, and she says, Mary, ask your guest why I'm smelling smoke. And my husband isn't smelling a thing, and he has a better smeller than I do. And Connie said, and she is a major prophetic intercessor. And she said, when you smell smoke, you just start praying in the spirit. You don't know what you're praying for, but God is giving you a warning to pray in the spirit. Well, a couple of days after that, a meteor crashed, exploded 12 miles above Russia, and it did great devastation in that area just from exploding 12 miles above Russia. Well, this last Saturday night, we were at Pastor Judy's again, and she's walking around the house looking for smoke because she smells smoke. And so here we'll go with the same thing again. And a friend, intercessor friend named Susie, and she'll know who I am, sent me a message that God had told her to put put online about smoke, and it was from the smoke of the sacrifice. So it's really interesting what Chuck Pierce brought yesterday, especially with the fact that we have so much rain down here that the streets are flooding in our neighborhood, and garbage cans are tipped over, and garbage bags are floating. And so we have a minute and a half left. I'm going to read as much as I can from Chuck Pierce's word from yesterday. There's a sound in the distance. I am calling my people, calling you into a place that you've not been before. I'm calling you in to stand in ways you haven't stood. Watch when smoke comes up. When the smoke comes up, these are signals. Rally towards a fire. I am putting in my people with ability to put out hell. Now, I'm teaching on hell tomorrow on TV for 3 shows. Even though hell is raging and fire is rising in the earth, I am giving my people a sound and a movement that will cause hell to recede. Press towards the fire, and I will quench the mouth of the enemy. The kingdom suffers violence, and violence take it by force. There's a violence coming back to the fathers and mothers, to father and mother and land again. There's a violence in the atmosphere, and I have a more violent people that are willing to fight. Are you willing to fight? The violence is here today. We will not lose. I am pushing right behind you. The violent take it by force. I am a good father. Now, that song, he's a good father. I love that song. And because I'm a good father, I know when to war the enemy. I know when my people to rise up and represent me in the war ahead. Judah goes first, and Judah must rise throughout the land with a new sound of war. If you have the ability, put worship music on your house and just bring the peace of God into your house. I just want to read the next one. He said, the storm is about a moment, and the plunder of the storm is for a lifetime. So he's talking about storms. And then he said, I'm creating surprise storms. And that's what we had all night long. Storms. Watch storms of surprise will sweep through the land as I surprise you. And storm will settle the dust of the enemy around you. And that's all I have time for today. But that prophetic word is published online. If you don't have it, I can send it to you. It is such an amazing word, but this is not the time to sit back and do nothing. This is the time to raise your voice in prayer. If you have a prayer language, pray in your prayer language. That is a language of nothing is impossible. Amen. God bless you. Bye-bye.